went on for nearly a quarter of an hour, and finally the discussion ended. Squealer was sent around the farm to explain the new arrangement to the others.
Comrades, I know that every animal here appreciates the sacrifice that Napoleon has made. Why should you guys put a snowball? Is it because of the idea of the windmill? He's just a criminal right now.
But he fought bravely at the battle of the cowsheds.
Bravery is not enough. Loyalty and obedience are more important. You guys don't want Jones to come back, right?
If Napoleon said it, then we have no choice but to follow it. Napoleon is always right.
On the third Sunday after Snowball's removal, the animals were surprised to hear from Napoleon that the windmill was to be built after all. He did not tell why. A special committee of pigs, however, had prepared all the plans for the past 3 weeks. The building of the windmill was expected to take 2 years.
All that year, the animals worked like slaves. They were happy in their work. They were well aware that everything that they did was for their own benefit. They worked 60 hours a week, including Sunday afternoons as well. The windmill presented unexpected difficulties. There was a good limestone on the farm and plenty of sand and cement. But what the animals could not solve was how to break up the stones into pieces of suitable sizes. After days and days of brainstorming, somebody suggested the force of gravity. With everyone worked together, they finally could break up the stones, and finally they had a good amount of stones for the windmill.
By autumn, all the animals were tired but happy. The windmill was almost half built now. In their spare moments, the animals would walk around the windmill admiring the strength. Only old Benjamin refused to be so enthusiastic about the windmill. All he says were just,
Donkeys live a long, long time.
November came. With raging southwest winds, building had to stop because it was now too wet to mix the cement. There was a night when the wind was too strong and several tiles were blown off the roof of the barn.
In the morning, the animals came out and saw the flagstaff had been blown down. The worst thing was, the windmill was in ruins.
What happened to the windmill? Comrades, do you know who is responsible for this? Snowball! Snowball did all of this. I pronounce the death sentence for Snowball. A full bushel of apple for everyone catches him alive.
The animals were in chaos after they heard Napoleon's speech.
No more delays, comrades. This morning, we will be rebuilding the windmill, regardless of weather. Long live the windmill! Long live Animal Farm! Long live Animal Farm!
It was a bitter winter. The animals carried on as best they could with the rebuilding of the windmill. The human beings knew that it was not Snowball's fault. The windmill's wall was too thin. Even though the animals denied it, the windmill's wall was going to be thicker than before.
In January, food fell short. The corn ration was drastically reduced. Napoleon was well aware of the bad consequences if the real facts of the food shortage were known.
In these days, Napoleon rarely appeared in public, but spent all his time in the farmhouse, which was guarded by the dogs. A few days later, some of the animals remembered the Sixth Commandment decree, No animal shall kill another animal. Clover asked Benjamin to read to her the sixth commandment, but Benjamin refused to do so. Then she fetched Muriel.
No animal shall kill any other animal without cause. I don't remember those two last words, without cause. The last two words must have been added for the good reason. We must start again. We must try to remember what only you said and start again. Peace of England, peace of Ireland, peace of land and sea and sky.
Throughout the year, the animals worked even harder than last year. It was not easy to build a windmill with twice as thick as before. All orders were now issued through squealer or other pig.
Napoleon was now never spoken of as simply as Napoleon. He was our leader, Comrade Napoleon. The general feeling on the farm was well expressed in a poem entitled Comrade Napoleon, which was composed by Minimus.
Friend of fatherless, fountain of happiness, Lord of swill bucket. Oh, how my soul is on fire when I gaze at that. Calm and commanding eye, like the sun in the sky. Comrade Napoleon, Comrade Napoleon, Comrade Napo, ole, 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 ole.
I approve of this point.
Early in the year, Animal Farm was proclaimed a republic.
The president, who was elected unanimously, is me.
Comrade Napoleon.
Congrats, Napoleon! Congrats, Napoleon! Ole, ole, ole.
There were renewed rumors that farmers were plotting to attack Animal Farm and to destroy the windmill. As the summer wore on and the windmill neared completion, the rumors grew stronger. In the autumn, with all of the animals' effort, the windmill was finished. The animals were tired but proud. Napoleon personally congratulated the animals on their achievements and announced that the windmill would be named Napoleon Mill.
Napoleon sold a pile of timber to Farmer Whymper.
The very next morning, the attack came. This battle was not that easy like the Battle of Cowshed. There were more men with guns around them. They were soon driven back, but a number of them were already wounded. For a moment, Napoleon seemed at a loss. The man knocked down the windmill.
A cow, 3 sheep, and 2 geese were killed, and nearly everyone was wounded. Then, Squealer, who was absent during the fighting, came back and fired a few shots from the gun.
What is that gun firing for?
To celebrate our victory!
What victory?
What victory? Which is of the enemies!
But they destroyed the windmill!
We can build another. We can build 6 windmills if you want to.
To celebrate this achievement, Napoleon somehow found whiskey in the cellar of the farmhouse. He drank it and got drunk because of it. The next morning, Napoleon told the pigs that he was so sick that he felt like he was dying. All of the animals were sad and panicked. But after a few hours, it was confirmed by Squealer that Napoleon was fine. Napoleon had pronounced a solemn decree.
the drinking of alcohol is to be punished by death.
Boxer's split hoof was a long time in healing. They had started the rebuilding of the windmill the day after the victory celebrations were ended. As always, Boxer refused to take a day off. Boxer admitted to Clover that his hoof was giving him troubles. Clover treated Boxer's hoof and told him to take it easy, but Boxer would not hear it. His ambition was just to see the windmill work. After his hoof healed up, Boxer worked harder than ever. All animals worked like slaves that year. Boxer's physical showed that he could pass out in any minutes.
I will work harder. I will work harder. I will work harder.
He would say that until he had no voice left.
I will work harder. I will work harder.
Boxer has fallen! Boxer has fallen! Boxer, what's wrong with you?
Don't you worry. It is my lung. The amount of stone for the windmill is good for the rebuilding. Rest assured, Clover.
We must get help at once. Somebody tell Squealer!
All other animals raced back to get Squealer. As soon as Squealer knew about Boxer, he told Napoleon about it, and Napoleon was sad about it too.
It's okay, comrades. I made arrangement to send Boxer to be treated at the hospital.
The animals felt uneasy about this.
It's okay. The veterinarian will do a better job than us in treating the wounds.
Then, all the animals agreed with Squealer. For the time being, they put Boxer on a special hay bed. After 2 days, a van of a white arrived at the farm. The animal thought that it was from the hospital.
Quick, come over here!
All the animals helped each other to put Boxer in the van. They felt relieved as Boxer would get a proper treatment at the hospital.
You not see what is written on the side of the van? Alpha Steven, house slaughterer. You not understand that? Don't kill Boxer!
A cry of horror from the animals. They didn't know about that. Clover chased the van.
Boxer! Get down, Boxer! I'm going to kill you! Boxer!
But Boxer could not hear all of that. The van was going faster. Clover could not catch up with the speed anymore and rapidly disappearing. Boxer was never seen again. Years passed. No one actually remembered the old days of rebellion except Clover, Benjamin, and Pigs. Snowball was forgotten, so was Boxer, except Clover, who still remembered Boxer clearly. Muriel was dead, and Napoleon's dog was dead too.
The farm was more prosperous now. The windmill had been successfully completed. The farm also had more advanced machines. There were more windmills now. They were so proud that they were still the only farm that was owned by the animals in the entire of England.
On a casual evening, when all the animals finished their work, they heard a loud sound of neighing at the back of the barn. It was Clover's voice. She kept neighing and neighing. The animals were confused. Why would Clover scream so loud? But then they saw what Clover saw.
It was Pig walking on his legs. It was Squealer and Napoleon. Napoleon got a whip on his hands and shouted,
Four less good. Two less better. Four less good. Two less better. Four less good. Two less better.
Napoleon got back to the farmhouse after saying that non-stop for a few minutes. Clover waited right in front of the barn to read the 7 commandments. Suddenly, Benjamin appeared beside her.
What happened, Clover? My sight is not that good anymore. But I can say that the commandments are not the same as before, right, Benjamin?
Benjamin willingly read the commandments to Clover. It was the same except one.
It says, all animals are created equal, but some are more equal than others.
That evening, a loud laughter and bursts of singing came from the farmhouse. And suddenly, the animals were curious what was happening in the farmhouse. They tiptoed to the farmhouse to see. It was Mr. Pilkington drinking with Napoleon. The animals did not expect that to be happening. They played cards and they were all confused about this. Napoleon was working with a human? This was insane!
The animals were raging, but they didn't even care. The animals were confused. Who were the animals? Who were the humans now? But it was already impossible to say which was which. The
And I would like to thank the crew, Nurul Nadia, Nur Amira, Farah Shaza Zulaikha, and Abang Ritaudin or Abang Din.
Introducing our actor and actresses. Nia Diana as Snowball.
Lukman Hakim as Napoleon,
Nur Sabrina as Squilla.
Musa Aslam as Boxer,
Nur Shafina as Clover.
Natasha Almira as Benjamin,
Ahmad Iqbal as Old Major and Mr. Pilkington.
Marina Navira as Molly and Muriel,
Siti Nur Atira as Pigeon and Chicken.
Muhammad Akmal Faik as Minimus and Cow,
Kellen Sakare Barat as Mr. Jones and Sheep.
and I, Nurul Ain Abika as narrator number 1,
And I, Sharifah Nufahana as narrator number 2. Teacher Advisor, Puan Raja Faiza. And our trainer, Puan Roslina. Thank you for coming.